Jordan,
Michael.
walk me through a perfect day of eating for you. A perfect day of nutrition.
Oh, man. Interesting. Okay. In my mind right now, what I'm trying to work through is like, how am I defining perfect? Right? So
I'll define it.
okay, you define.
The meal choices, quantity, and frequency, and timing. Did I already say timing? I don't know. That leads you to your end goal, whatever that is right now,
Okay.
plus feeling really good during the day in the short term on those foods.
Okay, cool. All right. So wake up. I just start off with water and coffee, seltzer. It's like Topo Chico and coffee, black coffee.
What time is wake up these days?
Usually like 7:30. And sometimes 8 if my daughter sleeps in a little bit, but usually 7:30. Get up, water, coffee, I'm technically fasting, but I'm not deliberately like intermittent fasting. I'm not hungry and I don't want to eat before jiu-jitsu. So
You want the autophagy, so you're fasting.
yeah, that's right.
You want that cell turnover. You want those old cells to die. You want the new ones to flourish. You want all of the...
I basically tell people that intermittent fasting isn't superior so that I'm the only one who gets those benefits.
Genius. You're going to be 140 years old walking around being like, all those other people died.
Losers.
Yep.
Can't believe they believed me. So I go to jiu-jitsu when my rib is not broken, come back. I usually break my fast after jiu-jitsu somewhere between like 11 and 12:30, depending on when I do jiu-jitsu. And then I start off with bran buds and 2 Greek yogurts. So like the little small Greek yogurts. It's either Greek yogurts or cottage cheese. I'll have either one, whatever's available, whatever I'm in the mood for.
Oikos, Faye, Chobani. What have you been rocking?
Lately, it's like the 000 Oikos. Have you had those? They're awesome.
Yeah. 20
really,
protein?
Really yeah, 20 protein. So I'll get 40.
Vanilla?
Vanilla is good. I like triple berry. Triple berry has been my go-to lately. So that's like 40 protein for 2 of those. And then I'll also have a big bowl of the bran buds, which is like probably about 20 grams of fiber just in that bowl as well.
We did this. Yeah.
What is it? How much fiber is it?
I don't remember how much, but it was enough to knock my socks off when I saw it in person.
Cool.
So protein and fiber. I love
protein, fiber, breakfast. And then if I'm usually not hungry by the end of that meal for obvious reasons, because it's a fuck ton of protein and fiber. But if I am, I'll have some fruit. Then usually have a work for a few hours. And I'm not hungry at all, just because like I'm stuffed with that meal. That's like why I'm stuffed right now. Is what I just had before this. Then I'll usually have a small meal before I work out, before I get like strength training or conditioning in. So I work for a number of hours. Then right before I go work out, I'll have a small meal. It's a salad. This is usually when my wife will make me some type of a salad. Big salad, there's going to be some type of protein on it. Could be chicken, could be salmon. Those are the 2 main options, either like grilled chicken or grilled salmon from the air fryer. And then any number of potential salads that she could make. Sometimes they're a bagged salad from the grocery store. Sometimes it's a salad she'll make. But big salad, like huge, fills up a whole plate. It's not like in a big bowl because I don't want to have like a massive amount so that I'm like stuffed during the workout. But it fills up a whole plate. Protein, vegetables, and then I'll try and have some carbs as well. This is where I'll get like a carb that is less from like an optimal perspective and more number one that I enjoy the taste, but also is light in my stomach. So sometimes it'll be just a little bit of popcorn, it's called lesser evil popcorn. It's like lower-ish calorie, but like it's really good. It's like very little, if no fat whatsoever. pretty decent fiber as well, and good carb, moderate amount of carbs. So popcorn, or sometimes I'll have these like little like fig bars as well. If I'm like really, really hungry and I want to get a little bit extra energy before the workout. So then I have that salad and either popcorn, fig bar, something like that. Go work out.
How
Come
much
back up.
time between end of that meal and your workout?
Usually like 45 to an hour and a half, somewhere in that range. Play with my baby, hang out for a little bit while I digest that. Go work out for like an hour and a half or so, come back up. And usually it takes me about 30 to 60 minutes after the workout to actually get hungry again. And then this is when I get like, I have a really big meal. So usually whatever my wife cooked that night, whether it's salmon, chicken, sometimes it's like you've had her, what's that called? What's that meal, like the breaded chicken that you like that she makes?
What is that called? It's like chicken parm?
Chicken parm, yeah. She makes this like super good chicken parm, which is really good. She makes amazing salmon. She like will have something that's just really, really good. Very high protein. She'll have vegetables with it as well, and then a carb. Whether lately it's been she's got jasmine rice a lot that we've been having. Other times it's been lentils. Other times it's been and like she got this new mac and cheese the other day that's actually really good. It's like chickpea. It's mac and cheese made out of chickpeas, which is actually like super good. And last night I had that with ground turkey and a bunch of vegetables. So some of that. And then after that, just hanging out with my wife. My daughter goes down to bed, and then I think if we're talking about like ideal optimal, it would be like 1 to 2 glasses of wine at most. But often it'll be like 3 to 4 glasses of wine, just to be like straight up. That's often what I'll do. But I think optimal for me would be closer to 1 to 2. And that's my day.
I love it. And then bedtime is
anywhere between 10 to midnight, anywhere in that range.
And after dinner, are there ever any snacks or calories other than wine? I guess we're talking about perfect day, so it doesn't really matter what average day is.
Yeah, I mean, an average day, we've got ice cream in the freezer. So like some type of ice cream. And usually my wife will know because unbeknownst to me, I'll have somehow spilled chocolate on the ground, like from the ice cream. And I woke up this morning and she was like, I see your little chocolate trail that I apparently like left out. But in an optimal day, it's either the wine or the ice cream. And I'm usually going for the wine. But on an average day, it's a little bit of both.
And your body comp goal right now is maintenance.
Yeah, just maintenance. If anything, to be honest, I am trying to gain a little bit because I'm going to do a challenge in August where I wear a continuous glucose monitor and monitor my glucose spikes, my blood sugar, while I lose weight. So I've maintained the weight loss from my last mini cut better than I ever have in my entire life this past year. Usually I shoot up significantly heavier in this whole year. I've just been maintaining like sub 150 ever since that cut. So I'm trying to put on a little bit right now just so I have a little bit of wiggle room when I start that cut. But yeah, just mainly maintenance.
Body comp goal, trying to gain fat while maintaining muscle.
What's your ideal day? Like, what's your optimal nutrition, Michael?
Let me think. So anytime that I care about adding or maintaining muscle, I'm thinking about my day in terms of not breakfast, lunch, dinner, but I'm thinking about it in terms of like dosing protein 4 times throughout the day.
Okay. Yep.
And call it minimum 30 grams each, but 40 is the target. And then in terms of like what gives me energy throughout the day, in terms of what has me feeling the best digestively and overall, that's where food choice matters. And so let's start it out. What's optimal? Wake up, coffee first, I'll usually have like, it's probably like 30 to 60 milligrams of coffee these days. So like
So
a
so
few
not a full
sips.
cup.
No, maybe like
No,
a fifth of a cup of coffee.
really? Oh wow, very small amount.
Yeah.
Why is caffeine down intentionally? Is it like, is there an anxiety or like sleep issue?
I sleep better with less caffeine. I just don't need the caffeine.
Okay.
High caffeine eventually catches up to me. So if I go high caffeine too many days in a row, I need low caffeine days. I'd rather not need low caffeine days.
What do you mean you need it?
Sleep quality is worse. Sleep quantity is down. Training is worse. Hunger is more like intense and like out of control. Like it's a drug. It's like,
Yeah.
what happens if you take heroin, lots of heroin 3 days in a row? It's like, well, day 4 is going to be weird. What happens? It's so funny that we don't think of caffeine and alcohol as drugs in our society. And now, like, I guess THC is moving in that direction, but certain drugs are like,
okay.
Not okay. You're weird if you don't drink alcohol.
Yeah.
And that's moved in the last 2 years. Like this whole tech bro, like I don't drink at all has become its own meme world. But 5 years ago, like, what do you mean you're not drinking? And I've found when I'm at maintenance and I'm properly hydrated, I don't need very much caffeine. It catches up. If I have 400 milligrams a few days in a row, then, and I can't just do that forever. I'll get sick more frequently. The other reasons I just listed. But if caffeine is at a reasonable level of like, call it 50 to 200 milligrams per day, and I'm eating enough calories and nutrient dense foods and staying hydrated, I don't need more. Caffeine isn't going to help me focus more or give me more energy. Like I have enough energy.
Yeah. Makes sense.
So coffee, water, Coach Gary, do client emails is like the first part of the day.
So you fast too?
Yeah, but sure.
Yeah, you're faster as well. All right.
I'm fasting, bro. On a trip. Yeah. Call it the first 3 hours of the day.
Yeah, like a 17, 6.
No, absolutely.
16, 8.
I'm
16, 8. Oh no.
No, I'm like I'm like a 12-12er.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I guess 14-10. I probably feel the best on 14-10, but it's hard to dose protein 4 times. What you need to realize for those of us who care about lean gains, which should be all of us for our longevity, our aesthetics, and everything, is dosing protein every 4 to 5 hours. Like, is the best way to see the best muscle gain over the long term.
Yeah.
And that kind of goes out the window slightly if you're getting a ton of protein throughout the day. Then it matters a little bit less that you're that dialed. But if you're having like 0.8 grams per pound of body weight and you're timing it properly, you're in a way better spot than if you're having 0.8 grams per pound of body weight and having it like an afternoon snack and then 120 grams at dinner or something like that.
Right.
So breakfast on a training day, I'm trying to get away from protein powder. And so since we're doing perfect day here, I'm not going to have any protein powder. And instead only using it for convenience, which is going to end up happening most days, but not a perfect day technically. So perfect breakfast is egg whites, maybe 1 full egg, depending on how the gap between breakfast and my workout. If it's a longer gap, I'll put more fats in that breakfast. If it's a shorter gap, I'll put fewer fats in there. I'll digest it faster. I'll feel better when I'm training. Versus if there's more fats in your meal, it takes longer to digest. You're going to have more food in your stomach while you're trying to work out. Egg whites, a piece of sourdough bread with a little bit of like sea salt, banana chopped up on there, and some honey.
You toast that bread?
I do. Yep.
Love sourdough.
Sourdough's legit. And then a little bit of, there's like a gut health placebo to it too, because it's fermented or whatever, however they make that delicious sourdough. Like, I'm a gut health connoisseur while I'm eating that. And then continue to drink water on a perfect day. I fall short of that most days, but getting enough water in early in the day is going to lead to better training quality. Pre-workout then, 45 to 60 after my breakfast. And that's beet juice. These days, that's beet juice, like a pinch of beta alanine, which might even be placebo, I don't know, but very little. And a fifth or a fourth of a scoop of pre-workout. And the serving size is 2 scoops. So it's like an eighth of a serving of pre-workout. And then a third of a can of Ghost Energy, which is like 67 milligrams.
Got it. Okay.
Go train. Post-workout, probably Chipotle, which I'll order for pickup. That's a real hack. Even if you're going to eat at the restaurant, always order for pickup. So it's just there ready for you when you go eat it. And you can do this on DoorDash at any restaurant like this.
Really? You can order it to go pick up?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Yep. And it's cheaper. These delivery apps, when you get them delivered, not only do they charge you delivery fee, you got to tip your driver, there's like processing fees, but the menu is more expensive when it's delivery. Mm-hmm. So order for pickup. It's the normal menu prices. Go pick up, eat. Jersey Mike's, like anywhere where you might end up in a 15-minute line, you just save 15 minutes. Chicken bowl, white rice is the Chipotle play.
That's it? Just chicken and white rice?
No, little bit of cheese, probably like a little bit of sour cream, but it depends what I'm doing. Yeah, if I'm doing a couple podcasts, then yeah, maybe like today I literally had chicken, rice, and a little bit of cheese because I don't want to be super full and want to take a nap in the middle of this. We'll call it today. Then do a few podcasts, and then 3 to 4 hours after my Chipotle, I'm gonna have half a pound of ground bison with jasmine rice and some raspberries.
Bison's great. You like that? It's super lean.
It's leanish. 23 protein, 11 fat.
Yeah.
The one I got. Yeah. I think it's 90-10.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice.
And then dinner's whatever my wife makes. So protein, some kind of green.
What's your favorite meal that she'll make, like for an ideal day?
For an ideal day?
Yeah.
Probably this like Parmesan crusted salmon with asparagus and couscous or white rice or.
Sounds good. Parmesan crusted anything. I'd have Parmesan crusted cardboard. That stuff is so good.
I'd have non-Parmesan crusted cardboard because we're adults and we eat our veggies. That's what we do.
That's a throwback to a real piece of content. What year was that? 2016?
17.
And then dessert?
In like an absolutely dialed day, I'd have to do the math on some of this stuff. Maybe some like chocolate drizzled over berries or some chocolate drizzled over bananas and berries would be good. But when I'm really dialed in, when I really care about myself and my health and like am doing what I want for the best outcome, I'm not eating a couple hours before I go to sleep because then I'm going to sleep better. I'm going to need less sleep. But then, there's random nights where you're just really hungry and you're not tired. And so you have a giant bowl of Cinnamon Toast Crunch because then you can go to sleep immediately, which is also great. Like that's all, depends on the day.
You're more of a sweet guy, right? You like more like sweet desserts as opposed to savory stuff?
Yeah.
Like you're more like chocolate, Cinnamon Toast Crunch, ice cream, as opposed to like French fries, chips, that type of stuff.
Correct.
Yeah. And you don't really drink alcohol like ever. You rarely drink alcohol.
When you were building your website in your dorm room,
Mhm.
I was going out 3+ nights a week, binge drinking my face off. And so I did enough drinking during college to last me.
You were a big partier in college?
I don't really know what that word means, but yeah, we drank a lot and went out.
I like equate partying with drinking. I don't mean like
then
going
yes.
to like a frat party or like a
think
club.
I think got it. Yeah. I'm not a club
I mean
guy.
just like hanging out with a bunch of dudes drinking or whatever it is.
Yeah.
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 What was your scene in college? Like, was it frat life? What was it? Where did you guys hang out?
Is this the end of our perfect day of nutrition?
I thought after no dessert, that was the end of it.
Oh, no, good. It is the end. I'm just trying to frame the conversation for myself.
Now
here.
because I'm interested in your college life.
What was my scene? Well,
Yeah.
after
were you in a frat? Oh yeah, you were in a frat, right?
For a semester.
Briefly.
After freshman year, after first semester freshman year, when I saw a picture of myself that I thought was someone else from behind with my shirt off, and like
you're like, that's what I look like.
I was like, wow, that freshman 15 came on quick. Then that wasn't even the end of that was like a couple months into college. Then my scene was.
Can you tell that story? Like, can you tell that story of seeing that picture? This is so funny.
We've told the story on the podcast maybe multiple times.
Have we?
Yeah.
Okay.
But the punchline is, this was 2005, the fall of 2005. And the way that Facebook worked was there was no news feed. You just checked out people's profiles. I think it was only universities at that point, actually. I don't think anyone else was allowed on there. And you like uploaded tons of pictures and you tagged you and your friends. And there was a picture from like after bar time back at the dorms. I don't know. I was in the bathroom brushing my teeth, like in my underwear. And like, I don't know why that was uploaded on there. I don't know who uploaded it, but I saw the picture and it was from behind and I was like, oh, that's so-and-so. They're like, no, that's you. And I was like, nah. Yeah, that's just, just way more love handle than I thought I had. And so that borderline like reverse body dysmorphia, you could call it.
Yeah, you're like the guy who like looks in the mirror.
Thought I looked amazing.
Think you look amazing.
Mm-hmm. And so what I started doing then was, because I didn't know anything. This was pre-Burkhan. After this time, I remember getting in an argument and telling someone like, you count your calories. I'm going to eat 6 times a day and watch my metabolic rate skyrocket. Like you watch. And so my scene at this point was I would, on weeknights, like go for runs, go to the gym, not eat chicken breast and grapefruit. I remember was a big staple. And then on Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays, like drink a bunch and then try and resist General Tso chicken or like Gumby's pizza or whatever, like all the hot spots were, and usually come up short. Like one of the 3 nights, you fall off and you get right back on track the next day.
General Tso's chicken. That'll get you. That stuff is so good.
But you wake up after, having a bunch of Fleischmann's was the vodka. That was like $7 for a 1.75. And then Natty Light or Natty Ice, which was like a 6.5% version of Natty Light that who knows for a case was less than $10. And you have a bunch of that stuff. And then 2,000 calorie General Tso full of the MSG. You wake up that next morning, you're not in a good place mentally, physically, emotionally.
Yeah, that's like a good transition from like optimal day to definitely like not optimal day.
Not optimal.
That line, it's like reverse body dysmorphia, just killed me. Yeah, just looked, I was like, damn, I look good.
Yeah.
That is funny. That is how we used to upload pictures to Facebook. Because I remember it wasn't from our phone, I don't think. I think we would have cameras with cards and then we would just upload them all at once. That's how I remember doing it. And so when I remember after high school, before college, when I was in Israel, like I would just photo dump like hundreds of photos at once all in my Facebook and just told my friends, go tag yourself. And then they would go in and they would go tag themselves in my photos. It's just so funny.
Yeah, man. I had a BlackBerry phone until
Did you
2000
really?
and yeah, I don't think I had an iPhone till, or whatever, a smartphone until 2013.
That's when I got my first one.
12 or 13. But
yeah, I went from flip phone to smartphone. I tried to resist as long as I could. I never got the BlackBerry. I went flip phone, and then my girlfriend at the time forced me to get a smartphone. She was like, enough is enough. And then we went to the Verizon store, and I was so mad. I was like, this is the worst. I hate this.
Is it the girlfriend who I think it is?
No, the one before that one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What if you would have resisted? Like, what if you were still going strong?
Dude, I think about that a lot. I think about there's so many things that happened in terms of what if I didn't get a smartphone? Dude, I think a lot about like, what if I didn't coach Gary? Like my life, I think that would be like the biggest change of all. And obviously like even a tiny change in history has radical effects on the future. But in terms of like real life changes, I very much wonder what would have happened if I never left Israel. If I was like, you know what, I'm just going to stay here. I'm not going to move. Like that, like nothing would be anywhere remotely the same.
Butterfly effect is wild, man.
Are there any moments like that in your life where you think like, what if I made a different decision here?
Yeah. Loads.
You want to elaborate on one of them?
Not really. Not the ones that are popping in my head. Let me keep sorting through.
Hockey?
Yeah, but that stuff just sounds so... That's my biggest pet peeve, is anyone who's like, if I only would have done this differently, I would have made it in insert sport.
Yeah.
No.
No. Yeah.
But when you say hockey, that's where my mind goes. Like, well, what if that 1D1 school that wrote me a letter, like, what if I would have followed up on that? And like,
yeah.
No, that's loser mindset.
What about in business? Is there anything that like throughout your history of business or any type of work, whether it's like poker or accountant or fitness business, that like you think like look back in the last, I don't know, 10 years and you're like, a sort of a demarcation point of like, this was a choice that like I could have went either way and it would have radically changed the outcome?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of them. After I so the way that the accounting program worked at Wisconsin is a 5-year program. And the 5th year, you end up getting a master's degree. You need 150 credits for a master's in accounting. And the 150 credits was also the minimum to sit for the CPA at the time. So it worked out real nice. And the spring semester of your 4th year, you did an internship. And so I interned at one of the big 4 accounting firms, 12-week internship, got an offer, and the offer is for after your 5th year, and accepted the offer. Like everyone, 90% of the people who got the internship also got an offer from the firm, and everyone accepts your offer. I was like, I hated that internship. Like people are solid, whatever, but for all of the reasons I've listed a million times, I knew from day one, corporate America is not for me. I want nothing to do with it. But I was in this position where I didn't know what else I could do. And so I was like, and especially with the sunk cost of 4 years of university, I'm in this accounting program. I'm getting all these accolades for like, oh, this is a real prestigious firm and like you get to go work there. But I wanted nothing to do with it. And the one thing that I considered, because this was when I had first read Where Men Win Glory, which is the biography of Pat Tillman, was like, I want to be an Army Ranger or a Navy SEAL. Like I want to like I didn't know anything about it. I didn't know anything about the process, but I was like, I felt a debt and an obligation and wanted to serve my country. And it was also like, felt very heroic to me. It felt like, okay, like I know what I don't want to do. What can I do in this position that I'm in right now? This seems so cool. And for probably a month or two in there, I was never close, but I thought about it a lot and like researched it a lot. And I mean, that's one of many examples of like, life could have gone very differently. So instead of getting out of the accounting world the way that I did, which was ended up doing the full-time work, worked 2 years, absolutely like couldn't stand it anymore. And then I quit, which ended up working out because I had enough time to build a little more savings, give myself a little more runway. I don't know what would have happened if I would have quit at that point before actually getting the degree.
So you worked at the place that gave you the offer?
Mm-hmm.
Got it. And did you tell your parents or anyone that you were thinking about joining the military?
Maybe a friend or two.
Oh, but not your parents? You didn't say, hey, I'm going to do this?
No.
But you don't think they would have been in support of it?
I don't remember why I didn't. I did my best thinking by myself.
It was the Marines? That was the branch that you were looking at?
The other two, or two of the other four. Or Pat Tillman was an Army Ranger, and then Navy SEAL just had the brand that was like, oh man, the SEALs, which now knowing
they had
more
the
about
sickest commercials.
and just like hearing that was the first time I'd ever heard of Hell Week and like the like all being a 22-year-old dude chock full of tests just ready to like go. A lot of, I mean, every decision we make could lead our life in a completely different path.
Yeah, radically.
And it's interesting because on average, the older you get, the harder it is to make any kind of life-changing decisions. Yeah. Which is good and bad. Like there's a lot of benefit to you and to people around you around like stability and responsibility. And
when did you get really obsessed with fitness? Like real working out, like when did that happen while you were working for this firm or prior when you were in college?
No, high school.
Oh, high school. Okay.
Yeah. It was obsession, but it wasn't
educated.
Yeah. It wasn't well educated. Exactly. Lifting was such a mental and emotional outlet for me. Like I just remember all of my high school lifts were angry and they were all like felt so good. The best, the music, the like, just like, it was in high school and, doing just wild stuff. Not actually wild, but what felt like wild. Like, only eating canned tuna for dinner because I thought that was like what bodybuilders did. Like, just skipping lunch period to go get extra work in the gym. Muscle milk became a thing in 03, 04. And
so good.
Yeah. Everyone in our high school got obsessed with supplements and GNC, and it was.
When did the real education kick in? Was that college, post-college?
In college, I've told you this, on the 2+2, which is a poker forum, health and fitness section, because that, and it's like, why would a poker, like they had such good information. This forum led me to body recomposition, and it led me to starting strength. And so body recomposition led me, the body recomposition forums are where I found Martin.
And JC.
No, I found JC on Twitter randomly.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Yeah. JC got retweeted by a pickup artist who I followed in 2012. and that was how I like got into that. And through JC, I found photocracy.
Got it. Okay. That makes sense.
Uh-huh.
Man, forums were the best.
Yeah, they really were. Do we want to hit something that isn't just us doing this?
Banter.
Yeah, that's a lot of banter. But yes, to wrap up the fitness journey, I fell in love with lifting in high school, got more educated in college. And and my freshman year of college, I took one of the elective classes for pre-business. You had to take a certain number of science courses, and nutritional sciences is what I took. And that's where I learned about macronutrients and micronutrients, and what that was like the basis of. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. And it was freshman year, first semester. And I only had 3 classes, and I was fully dialed in. Like, this is college. This isn't high school anymore. I need to read. I need to study. I need to. So
really, that was your mindset.
Absolutely. I shredded freshman year, first semester. I took like a calc class.
Oh my God.
Microeconomics and nutritional sciences. And
those were your 3 classes?
Mm-hmm.
You only had 3 classes freshman year, first semester?
Then I had to make up for it because I was only taking 12 credits because my advisor was like, you want to start with less just to like dip a toe in the water. You need to average 15.
Did that count as full time?
Yeah, 12 was the minimum for a full-time student.
Oh, okay.
You need to average 15 over the course of your whatever to hit 120 credits in 4 years and graduate. And so I had to do 18 some. I did like a summer class once.
Got it. Okay. How'd you decide to do the nutrition class? You're just like, oh, that sounds interesting to me.
Yeah. It was like,
there was like no like, this could be a profession. It's like, I just want to learn this for my own personal gain.
Never. I didn't, dude, applying to college. I just I knew I was good at math and liked math. And I knew my dad did business, and that business was like a thing that it was like a respected career. There was no fitness as a career in my mind when I was applying to college. And so the nutritional sciences was like, I'm going to learn some stuff about nutrition. This is going to be good. And I did.
Was there it was a good class? Like, you learned legit stuff? It was helpful?
Yeah. Like all of Nutrition 101. Like, what are the different types of carbohydrates? What's an essential fatty acid? Omega-3, omega-6, like unsaturated, mono, poly, saturated fats, trans fats, like all of the building block pieces of nutrition.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about warm-ups.
No one likes talking about warm-ups. Everyone hates warm-ups.
Well, maybe they should all start warming up more, and then they could see better progress.
You're the warm-up king. You should make content on warm-ups. You take your warm-ups more seriously than anyone I've ever met, which I love.
What do you think we're doing right now, Jordan? Making content about warm-ups. You mean on my own time? Not with you?
No, your warm-ups for your workout. You take your warm-ups very seriously.
I would say I'm in the 65th percentile of how serious I take them. I'd say 2/3 of people take them less seriously, and 1/3 take them more seriously. But that's it. That's a good place to start. I like that you started there. There's a lot of individual variation in how much warm-up is necessary. Some people,
we're not putting warm-ups in the title or in the description, because as soon as you say warm-ups, people are going to skip right over it.
This is going to SEO so hot for how to warm up for weightlifting.
My first ever freebie that I made to give away to people for my email list was all like the ultimate guide to warming up. And I spent so long creating this whole thing, and no one signed up for it. And I found like, no one likes warm-up shit, man. Even though I think they're important.
Sometimes.
Sort of.
Sometimes you give the people, what do you mean sort of? Go pull 500 without a warm-up. Like, warm-ups
That's
doesn't just
ridiculous. a ridiculous thing to say.
You go while I'm there with the hormone. Sometimes you gotta give the people what they want in order to give them what they need. And sometimes the people can go get what they want from somewhere else and they can stay to eat their vegetables here. So fine, we don't have to, you can clickbait this, but this is the real gold of the episode. I'm telling you right now, I get loads of questions about warm-ups. Warm-up doesn't necessarily mean what you're doing before your workout. It can also mean what you're doing before each exercise and before the working sets of each exercise. A lot of people botch this. A lot of people hurt themselves. A lot of people leave gains on the table. A lot of people need this. They want to know how to get their next client. No. You learn to warm up and then you execute your warm-ups and then you'll be ready to get your first client. I'm serious, Jordan. We got people out here. Let's talk about warm-ups.
The reason you're going so hard on it is because I went so hard the other way. So you're like, no, fuck it, we're gonna go. If I was really excited to talk about warm-ups, you'd be like, let's not.
You might be right. I won't deny that. Dude, warming up. Okay, let me ask you something. Have you lifted yet today?
No, I'm going to after this podcast.
Okay. You biceps, triceps. So today
Legs
is back day.
Today's back. Yep.
Okay. What's your first exercise?
Seated, chest supported, cable row.
Nice. For what set and rep scheme?
3 sets of 6 to 8 with a very controlled eccentric. This is not explosive.
And do you have like an RPE that you're aiming for, just generally speaking?
Like between 8 and 9.
Cool. Are you going to go to the gym and go straight to set up your thing and put it on your working weight and do your first set?
No.
Okay. Why not?
It wouldn't be optimal, that's for sure.
Always optimal.
There's a chance I'll strain my neck, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like an auto regulation type thing where I can gauge how I'm feeling that day because I don't know what weight I'm going to use for my top working set. It doesn't always coincide with what I did last week or the week before that. So I use the warm-up sets as a way to gauge what my work sets are going to be today.
Auto regulation. I like that word. That was good. A little biofeedback, one might even say.
Yeah, that's probably the better phrase for it.
No, I think it's the second best phrase behind auto regulation. So you're going to do a couple of warm-up sets.
Yeah.
Nice. Tell me about
Absolutely.
How many reps? What weight are you going to start at?
I'll probably start at on this machine, I'll probably start at 60, somewhere between 60 to 80 pounds.
Cool.
Yeah. Go 60 to 80.
And do 10?
Yeah. Usually just until I can really feel the muscles. I don't try and do it from the perspective of it doesn't have to be a certain amount, but I want to feel the muscles that I want to feel working at that point. So sometimes it'll be 15 reps, sometimes it'll be 12 reps, but yeah, usually between an 8 to 15 range, sometimes 20 if I start a little bit too light.
Nice. What's your next exercise after that?
Second exercise is inverted rows, 3 sets of failure.
Cool. 3 sets to failure. Are you going to do 3 sets body weight to failure?
Correct.
Perfect. Are you going to do...
No warm-up set.
Why not?
Because I'll already be plenty warm after my chest supported rows, 3 sets of 6 to 8, RPE 8 to 9.
Why will you already be warm?
Because I've already done the first exercise.
What if your second exercise was a barbell bench press?
Oh, yeah. Then I'm doing warm-up sets. It's a completely different muscle group.
I think that's an important thing. When people talk about doing warm-up sets of exercises in a workout, that's a good general rule that I like that most people I can see the boredom on your face. I love it. You got to sit here in class and listen, Jordan. That's how life works, my friend.
No, that's a good point where it's like it's a different muscle group, different movement pattern.
Yeah. So even the second exercise I'm hitting back in a workout, I'm not gonna do any warm-up sets usually. But if I'm hitting a different movement pattern that recruits different muscle groups, then it makes sense to warm up for that exercise as well.
Even so, because the first move and second move here, chest supported cable row and inverted row, they're both horizontal pulling movements. I don't need to do a warm up for the second exercise. But if I was doing chin-ups, I would probably have at least like one light warm up set. And that even though it's still back, because it's vertical now, I would probably have a little bit of a warm up set there.
Me too. That's a nuance that I don't think a lot of people are picking up on and that they're writing down right now. They're making a note of, and they're super pumped. They click this episode and listen to this point.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. I've never heard anyone talk about that before. So I agree. I just don't think people are like salivating, being like warm ups. I used to be that guy. I spent months making a whole manual, like optimal warming up, fucking filming videos for it, and like every type of warm up, whether it was lower body warm ups, upper body warm ups, full body warm ups, mobility, stability, like self assessments. I did everything. And yeah.
So let me take a step backwards here. Is the first thing you do when you get in the gym for this back day of training, is the first thing you're doing your first warm-up set of chest-supported cable rows, or are you doing anything prior to that?
So for me personally, the first thing I do is I'm going to sit down on that machine and do my warm-up set.
Amazing.
That's for me personally.
I love that.
But that's not the case for everybody. And I think the reason for that is because I consider myself very good at doing movement throughout the day that I want to be, whether it's thoracic rotations, whether it's adductor mobility, whatever it is. I'm working on my mobility and stuff all day. But for most people, especially people who are not in fitness, they're sit at a desk all day, hunched over like Quasimodo, and like they're not doing any of that stuff. So yeah, I'm going to start them off with a little bit of movement prep because like they need that, and they often don't have that range anyway. But for me, I want to walk in, put my bag down, and sit right on that machine.
I love it. And that's a really important thing to highlight is when you're starting out, err on the side of doing some kind of, we'll call it like full body, like not working set warm up, but like a full body warm up, which probably includes getting your heart rate up and probably includes some mobility work. And if you end up not needing it, like Jordan and many others, cool. That's amazing. But I absolutely need at least a 10-minute warm up. And specifically around, it depends on what muscle groups, what movement patterns I'm training, but so that I can comfortably and safely achieve ranges of motion on exercises that I couldn't if I jumped right in without doing a warm-up.
I also think there's different warm-ups for different goals. Like an athlete's warm-up is going to look very different than like a 45-year-old person's warm-up who's just trying to be healthy. I know we were in sort of different ends of the industry early on a little bit. The end of the industry that I was on, like the people reading a lot of Eric Cressy stuff and at the Perform Better seminars, like for years, warm-ups were
warm-ups.
Obsessed. It was like you spent 45 minutes warming up. There was a guy, I will never forget this. Yeah. He wrote a whole article about how however old you are, that's how many minutes you should spend warming up, which is just comical because I think of like Susan. Like that would mean Susan should warm up for 63 minutes before her work. It's just like that's not how it works.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. I think they're important, but they're like with everything, some people overemphasize them, do way too much, and some people underemphasize them and don't do them enough.
And because of your overexposure to a group of people who were, or I guess your exposure to people who overemphasize them.
Yeah. That's my bias
that's your bias, plus the fact that people aren't interested in them apparently, which I didn't know.
Yeah.
But
there are people who are obviously interested in them. Often the people who I found who are interested in warm-ups are also the people who are interested in posture and more mobility type movements in general. So we could even look at different Instagram accounts, like for example, Joe Therapy, Joe Yoon, who you and I both know really well. He
was a guest on the pod.
He was a guest on the pod early on. I named his book. Did I? Do you know that story?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Better Stretching.
For everyone who doesn't know, Joe is talking about writing a book about stretching years ago. This is probably 2017, 2016. And 2017, 2018 probably. And he's telling me he's writing a book on stretching, and I was like, oh man, like you should call it Stretching. And he was like, there's already a book called Stretching. And I was like, all right, call it Better Stretching. and that's what he called it. But the whole reason I came up with that is, this story. There was a Chinese food restaurant near University of Delaware that I went. It was called Number One Chinese Food. And then I think it was either my sophomore or junior year, a new Chinese restaurant opened called New Number One Chinese. Which
genius.
Just is like so genius. It's so funny. But you can, like, accounts like his, there are many accounts where people have more mobility type exercises and more, and I think they'll often include more warm-up style content, and that is often what people will gravitate towards if that's their interest. But I've rarely found someone who is, I'm not saying they don't exist, but I rarely find people who are both equally interested in getting really strong or building bigger muscles or increasing their performance to a high level, and also really interested in the movement preparation, mobility, all that stuff. I've usually found it's either or where the interest lies.
I like both.
You're a big warm-up guy. You do your warm-up at your house before you even get to the gym.
That's because I'm introverted, and I want to minimize time where I feel pressured to have a conversation. I was thinking about this in the gym today. I was like, man, I have to switch gyms. Because
why? People talking to you?
I've just had conversations now with too many of the people, and now I feel this like social pressure to converse with them. I got this like Ray Lewis, like angry motivational track in my mind. I'm about to hit my third work set. I'm like pissed. I'm thinking about stuff. I'm like going places. And then this guy walks in smiling, and I'm like, I have to have a conversation with this guy now.
He sees you got to take the earphone out. You're like, oh yeah, hey, good to see you.
Today. I just pretended I didn't look at him and just kept with my angry lift. But yeah, I
wonder if he thinks he pissed you off for some reason. Like, did I do anything to that guy? Like, he didn't even look at me.
Yeah. And now I feel guilty about that. And so I'm like, I'm just switching gyms. Building a home gym is really the play, but I like machines so much. That's another thing when it comes to warming up, though, is the complexity of the exercises that you're doing. If you're on a hypertrophy program that's a whole bunch of like single joint machine work, way less of a need to do a warm up before your workout than if you're going in there and you're going to do some snatches and cleans and like whatever, then you should probably warm up.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
All right, we'll leave the warm up talk there because.
And what else do you want to talk about for warm ups?
I think we've hit enough.
That's good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good episode, Jordan.
Yeah, that was awesome. Thank you, everyone, for listening. If you are not in the fitness business mentorship, but you want to grow your business, or maybe you want to start an online business, or maybe you have an online business and it's not going as well as you would like it to, that's why we have the fitness business mentorship. That's really why we have this podcast, so that you can listen, decide that you like what we have to say, you learn from us, and if you want to learn even more and have an amazing community around you, join the mentorship. You will never find, and this is a fact, you will never find an online fitness business coaching program that has as good of a cost as ours. Like, all of them cost significantly more. And you will also not find a more helpful interactive group than what we have going on. So click the link in the description. We would love to have you. For everyone who's in the mentorship and listening, we love you. We appreciate you. Have a wonderful week. We'll talk to you soon.
Bye, everyone.